Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining. Um, Today, we're going to talk about digital sales in the artificial intelligence era, and we'll dive deeper into how our jobs and tasks are going to be affected by AI by 2020. But before we go into all that, I want to start by telling you a short recent story. A couple of months ago, I attended the marketing conference in Berlin. And I was always confused walking through the aisles of thousands of exhibitors' booths. Something caught my attention. As I was passing by a big TV screen, I noticed it was video recording the people passing by, so I thought, as girls do, right? I'll take a glance and see how my hair looks. Then I noticed a red square on my face, and text started appearing. Woman, age 23. And that made me curious, so I got one step closer. Age 25. One step closer, 26. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going any closer than that, no, sir. So here's how it works. The gadget is a digital screen that wraps around retailers' shelves and displays digital ads that can be swapped out on the fly. Built-in optical sensors then detect anonymous information about shoppers. The technology can examine someone's facial expressions and let retailers see traffic patterns and consumer age, gender, demographics, and even religion to some extent. And this is just what's happening in the offline. When we think of AI, we think digital. Siri, Google, Netflix figuring out what our favorite TV shows might be, or YouTube recommending the best songs for us. But you wouldn't think you would encounter AI at your local supermarket by the Coca-Cola shelf, would you? As Piotr said before, AI is going to be one of the most influential developments and trends in our society in the next 20 years, and will lead to the second industrial revolution. But how much do you understand about what it's currently doing, where it's headed, and how your jobs as marketers or salespeople will look like in the next 10 years? My name is Irina. I'm head of business development at OmniConvert, an innovation solution for e-commerce. I'll leave my details on the last slide in case you guys would like to get in touch. Okay, so a long time ago, or a little time ago, depends on how you look at it, 30 years ago, to be more exact, Compaq launched the 386. Remember this guy? He was the computer. These were the days when personal computers began to rise and people could easily spend $5,000 on a single one of them. That's pretty expensive for the regular pocket, but early adopters did. And that's what led to another game-changing innovation, the World Wide Web in 1990. And that's also when I was born. Okay, so just 9 years later, Amazon was taking over offline retailers. And this is how their site looked like at that time. Not a whole lot different from what it does now, right? Well, ever since e-commerce flourished, we're currently standing on almost $2 trillion in sales for worldwide e-commerce combined. And it's estimated that by 2020, this number will reach 4 trillion. Yep, that's right. You, marketers, salespeople, e-commerce business owners are in the game. Here's where the money and innovation are rolling. But how about AI and robots taking over our jobs in the near future? Well, let's take a step back and look at the current e-commerce scene right now. What's the marketers and sales managers struggle? Of course, connecting the right people to the right products at the right time and generate sales, right? Well, that's the never-ending story, but how do we do that? Well, we track, we understand, and adapt. We're tracking users, products, feedbacks, purchases in our Google Analytics or our CRMs. And then we're trying to compile the data in our minds and figure out insights on the low-hanging fruits, barriers of our potential clients and visitors, and their motivations, while at the same time, we're trying to come up with ideas to change and implement. We're adapting offers, ads, the content, and design of our website. The only goal being to get to the most efficient and growth-oriented version of our sales and marketing strategy. So what do we as digital marketers do? We manually look at first, second, third-party data, trying to find patterns, aggregate data, and take action on clusters based on like average order value or geolocation, behavior on our sites, demographics, interests, hobbies, you name it. For a person or a team only to be able to look at millions or trillions of entries and figure out solutions for their email marketing strategy or advertising campaigns or website personalization based on huge amounts of messy and all over the place data is close to impossible. I think we're giving ourselves a task that is not a human trait: efficiency and scalability. And this is why we're not doing such a good job at it either. In 2016 alone, online vendors have spent a total of $110 billion combined. More than 60% of that was estimated to have been wasted based on joint revenues. Why? Because we're doing our best to accomplish something we're not best at. Let me explain. Our own intelligence has a very poor understanding of what intelligence is. We think of it as single dimension. Take IQ, for example. So we got average people, smart, and dumb people. But it's much more like a symphony of different cognitive patterns. There's memory, quickness, emotional intelligence, deductive reasoning, and so on. So what artificial intelligence does is connecting the different intelligence clusters and creating a machinery which has the best of all worlds. Let's say we make an intelligent self-driving car. The car will be more efficient than a human. It will not be distracted by whether you left the stove on or whether Mary loves him back. It's just driving. It uses patterns learned from viewing millions of roads or point-of-view driver videos through a mechanism that's called machine learning. Let's look at that more deeply. Machine learning emerged in the early 90s, and it was initially created to do simple tasks like sorting the mail by reading the handwritten zip codes, and it evolved to things like giving grades for school tests. The machine has quickly reached the human capacity of doing these tasks 100% correctly, but it also did something more. It skyrocketed performance. A school teacher can only read so many papers and grade them, maybe like a few thousand in 1 year, whereas the machine can do that same amount in a matter of minutes. We have no chance of competing against machines on frequent, high-volume tasks. But still, there are things that we can do and machines can't. The fundamental limitation of machine learning is that it needs to learn from high volumes of big data. Well, humans don't. We have the ability to solve problems we don't have a lot of previous data on. Percy Spencer, for example, he was a physicist who lived during the Second World War when he noticed that the magnetron was melting his chocolate bar. So he was able to connect his understanding of electromagnetic radiation with the knowledge of cooking in order to invent the microwave oven. This is a particularly remarkable example of creativity, something that a machine, as of yet, and probably not even in the future, will be able to accomplish, no matter how intelligent it is. As far as the security of our jobs is concerned, I guess it comes down to this. The future state of any job lays in the answer to this question. To what extent is that job reduced to frequent, high-volume tasks, and to what extent does it require tackling into novel situations? Let me explain. Before the Industrial Revolution, all the work was done with manpower and animal power. Industrial Revolution extended the limitations of our bodies to machine power. You could have thought that this is going to be the end of jobs for the regular farmer or manufacturer. Well, in actuality, it was the exact opposite. It gave birth to new jobs. People weren't doing the actual physical work anymore, but learned how to operate the machines and work alongside them. AI will eliminate some jobs, but will also create new kinds of jobs and tasks that we didn't even know we needed before. As the first revolution took away the physical work, AI will take away the mental labor. We will leave to robots all tasks that can be measured in terms of efficiency and productivity. So I guess our jobs as marketers or salespeople are not in immediate danger, but they can be, depending on how quickly we are ready to adopt AI in our current processes. I believe that in the next few years from now, we will be paid based on how well we know how to work alongside these machines. Now, let's take a look at some actual examples of machine learning that will be heavily adopted by the vast majority of online retailers in the next 2 or 3 years. Take customer support chatbots, for example. Well, it is of no secret that in this instant gratification economy, customers demand immediate responsiveness from brands and expect fast and reliable customer service, and that's across all channels. Chatbots are replacing live chat and other forms of slower communication methods such as phone calls or emails. Through word recognition, chatbots provide an immediate customer service presence that offers concise answers to some of the most frequently asked questions. But that's not the only thing they were taught to do. The bots are currently being trained to gain negotiation skills and close sales through learning different patterns in the feedback of their different approaches and even anticipating how the conversation should be approached. The bots even learn how to deceive one another as a method of negotiation. For example, they found that a good strategy was to aggressively pursue an item they didn't care about, only to concede at the last minute and appear to have compromised. Well, no human has programmed that strategy. This is just something they discovered by themselves. That's that. But I think it's important not to get carried away by this research. The bots, as of yet at least, haven't proved to be consistently better at negotiating than humans. And the researchers were only able to train them in this one specific scenario. They don't know whether they'll be able to transfer these skills into other sorts of negotiation. So, what are the benefits and downsides of chatbots versus real customer support reps? Well, obviously, it's gotta have to be efficiency and scalability. Instead of hiring multiple human reps, you'll only pay a monthly subscription for your chatbots. Also, the bots don't take vacation, they don't take breaks, they don't ask for raises, don't complain, and they don't get angry or frustrated with clients either. So, another thing that I want to talk about is dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing based on machine learning is a pretty recent innovation. The majority of online retailers are not using it as of yet. Instead, either they display fixed prices to their audiences or they create manual segments and A/B test different pricing for different visitor clusters. Even though A/B testing can answer some questions about users' patterns, it is probably not the best approach to fully optimize your product's pricing ever since machine learning came up. Dynamic pricing is a powerful alternative to the segmented pricing and A/B testing approach. It automatically optimizes prices for every user in real time without the need to manually define or text complex pricing rules. Instead, the dynamic pricing tool uses machine learning algorithms to bring its pricing decisions. This feature is currently being used by companies like Amazon, Booking.com, or Airbnb, Airbnb has actually created an open source product called Aerosol, which grew from multiple less advanced pricing A/B test tools, and it's now only relying on machine learning. Product recommendations. So one of the most efficient recommendation engines in the industry is currently being used by YouTube. The recommendations are driven by a system called Google Brain. With using this system, one can experiment with different deep neural network architectures using distributed training. I know it sounds fancy, but it's pretty simple to understand how it works. The system consists of two neural networks. The first one, called the candidate generation, takes as input users' watch history and using collaborative filtering selects videos in the range of hundreds. Candidate generation uses users' feedback of video watches by users to train the model. To accelerate training of the model, for the newly uploaded videos, the age of each training example is fed in as a feature. Another key aspect for discovering and surfacing new content is to use all of YouTube's videos watched, even the ones on the partner sites, for training of the algorithm. This way, collaborative filtering can pick up viral videos right away and connecting them to other similar visitors who enjoyed watching them. Now, I talked to you about two neural networks. The second one, its job is to rank the few hundreds of videos in order that are previously compiled by the first network. This is much simpler as a problem for the candidate generation, as the number of videos is smaller and more information is available for each video and its relationship with the user. The system is continuously A/B testing for further improvement. The main goal used here in their A/B test is expected watch time rather than clicks, as click-through rate, expected clicks would promote clickbait. Well, I think YouTube's recommendation system is pretty much one of the most sophisticated and heavily used recommendations in the industry. The technology is just scratching the surface of what can be accomplished, but nonetheless, it gives us several useful insights regarding engineering deep learning systems. Better customer segmentation. We all want that. And we know that our current capabilities as marketers, for example, are segmenting based on first-party data like previous purchases or average order value, lifetime value, or like second-party data, geolocation, weather condition, browser language. We're also looking at third-party data like browsing history, type of content the user consumes. So again, I can't stress enough on the inefficiency of creating clusters manually by combining different segmentation points to define patterns and then finding out what works best for each cluster. With machine learning, as soon as the system integrates enough data, it is able to push the most likely content or offer for a user based on similarities with other visitors identified by the machine as being part of the same cluster. Improved product search. Well, we all know that search is key in online sales. Visitors using the search bar, for example, are 5 times more likely to convert than the ones who don't. And machine learning algorithms will vastly improve e-commerce product search capabilities. Most current e-commerce search solutions focus on keywords or synonyms to deliver what some would deem the most relevant search results. But improved learning search will also consider click rates, conversion rates, customer ratings, and even product inventory or margin. Learning search will better understand what the shopper means rather than what they just typed. These learning search systems will deliver product results that your shoppers are more likely to want or buy. And all of the above are just a few examples of how artificial intelligence is already doing a better job at tasks which require analysis of high volumes of data and taking real-time action to boost performance. There are many more parts to marketing and sales systems where we can apply machine learning. The machines will get better understanding buyer behaviors and trend patterns, and the use cases will grow. Personalization of every aspect of your company's processes will enable great customer experience and, most of all, amazing profits. A few weeks ago, I read on The Guardian a declaration of Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. He's claiming that AI will lead to an inevitable third world war in the next few years. I'd like to think of it more as a second industrial revolution. I think that puts it in better terms. But I really like this part of his article. He's saying leaders who don't understand that cloud computing and artificial intelligence are essential for business should identify young people in their companies to explain it to them. And maybe that's one of the reasons I'm here speaking today. But, well, leaving all jokes aside, I believe, and that's my personal opinion, that our future of marketers and salespeople comes down to how quickly we are able to adapt and understand that old ways are getting really old very soon and will no longer bring us the results we need to beat our competition. I think it'll be the early adopting businesses which will thrive, in the next few years. With that, my presentation is pretty much